Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a bit of a joint video. I'm going to be doing kind of a recap of the last few series as well as previews. Before I kind of get into everything, I just want to apologize to first off, to the AHL guys. Was not able to record a video for you guys last round. Excuse me. And I know that's my bad. And I know this video is coming out a little later than I really wanted to. Just got a lot of stuff going on. Kind of my personal life. Everything's fine. Just very busy, and I do apologize to everybody out there. I know people really enjoy these, and I apologize for getting them out a little later than I'd like, and hopefully the quality isn't that bad. The plan for this video is to just do everything in one shot. So I'm going to do everything NHL, AHL recap, and preview all in this video. So this is going to be a bit of a longer one. I'll have this timestamps in the description so you can jump ahead around to whatever you want to listen to or watch or whatever. So yeah, I don't have the time to edit and do all the stuff for 2 videos. And at this point in the playoffs, we're down to 4 series total. So I think I can do it in one shot. All right. But before we look ahead. We got to look at kind of what happened in the past. So right now we're looking at the bracket. In the Eastern Conference Final, we have Boston taking on Philly. And in the West, we have LA taking on Edmonton. All right. So let's take a look. And then we're just going to split it NHL first and then AHL in the second half of the video. So if you're here for AHL, probably you'll see the timestamps, but just go probably halfway through. And we'll be talking about you there. All right. So starting with the NHL, we'll open this up. So what all happened? So we'll start in the East with Boston and Buffalo. So this is going to be kind of a quick overview. I'm not really going to go too in depth until we get to Seattle because I have a lot to say. So starting with Boston and Buffalo, quick series. Boston winning in 5. Buffalo did win Game 3. I believe they scored a very last-second goal to win that game. And so they were able to steal one on the Wednesday night, but Boston overmatched them. Really just too good. Boston is such a deep team. This doesn't come as a huge surprise, to be honest. I mean, even in the Thursday night, so you switch up the lines, you go to Game 4. I mean, Boston only 11 shots, 7 goals. It's not. I hate to blame the goalie, and I'm not going to, but it's tough, man. Boston's such a good team; they'll wear you down. So it's a tough way to end the season for Buffalo. I think Swizz was telling me that they were having some availability issues. I don't know if those actually came true or not. Regardless, sucks to kind of get beat up like this. I feel for IKU. I mean, I'm sure these are grade A chances coming up against them. So it is what it is for Buffalo. Boston, they're really on their revenge tour from last season. You see these guys really chipping in 6 points, 5 points, 6 points. It's just big nights here for the Boston and their depth. And a good night for Sway here in Game 4. Overall, we'll take a look at the player leaders for both sides. Well, actually, I'm going to do that later on. Like I said, this is going to be kind of brief, the recap. I'm going to mainly focus on the preview. So, yeah, so not really much else to say for this series. Boston, they did what they needed to do. I thought they were the better team, and they definitely proved that in this series. And so they move on. So now we take a look at Philadelphia and Washington. I can't even talk. There's another series that very quick. I thought Washington would put up a bigger fight. They had a good win. They go down 3-0 Wednesday night, and they come out firing in Game 4. But then they get bitch slapped in Game 5. It just wasn't not particularly close. I mean, the first 2 games were close, 2-1, tough loss for Washington. 6-5, another tough loss. But then 6-2, I mean, not really that close. They come back 6-1, all right. But then 7-3, just not competitive in the second half of the series. I mean, you get Olympio 3 points, Stangs with 3 points. All right, it's solid. but just not much else. Tough night for Felix in here, 7 goals against. A lot of shots, pretty wide open series. Time on attack, even. Shots pretty much even. It's just Philly, man, they turn it on in these playoffs. You got Paul with 5 points, James Young with 4 assists on the back end, Noble with 4 goals. I mean, these guys just turn it on in the playoffs, man. It's unbelievable to see. And Simmer 60, he's carrying his team as well, right to the Eastern Conference Final. So overall, I mean, I don't even know what to make of Washington. I really thought they were gonna put up a better. I thought they were gonna win the series, but now Philly, they got me thinking all kinds of crazy stuff, man. I have no idea who I'm gonna what to think of the Boston Philly Eastern Conference Final. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for now, it's a brutal way to go if you're Washington. You come out, just spank Pittsburgh. What was it? 4-0 sweep, and no need to rehash the Pittsburgh again. But they come out, they slap them around, and then they just clunker. I don't even know. But, that's Philly. You're going to the Eastern Conference Final. So we'll come back to these guys, Philly and Boston. We'll come back to them later on. We'll look now, L.A., Chicago. This, again, I hate to, kind of breeze, fly through this. I know we're only 6.5 minutes in. But, there's not really a ton to say. I mean, so this is not updated because there are 2 forfeits here. So L.A. wins the series 4-1. They win it in 5. And there was a whole big thing about Chicago not having enough guys, L.A. not wanting to reschedule, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to get into it. But, again, Chicago wins Game 1. You're like, oh, what is... these guys really got a chance. And then they lose Game 2 by a goal. All right. That's not a bad loss. LA's such a good team, man. 1-goal loss, take that. And then they lose 4-1. So then they go into Thursday night. Chicago goes into Thursday night only down a game. So they get a Game 4 win. It's a brand new. It's the best of 3. But they forfeited. So that's that. So LA goes on to the conference final. And so they'll be taking on Edmonton. Edmonton beating my Seattle Kraken in 7 games. So I do have a lot to say about this because I played in a bunch of these games, and it's definitely a tough loss. Friday night was tough to watch. So here's what I'm talking about. So I played games 1, 2, and 3. So we come out firing Game 1. I mean, holy shit. I got 6 points. Carby with 7. I mean, we were flying high. Ace playing great. Only 3 goals against. I mean, solid stuff. I mean, 25 shots to 14. We just dominated. Pure domination. All right, 10 minutes time attack. All that great. All that stuff's great. Then we they switched it up on us. Kind of get kicked in the teeth here. 5-3. Little shots to the system. But again, we outplayed them. 22 shots to 17, 10-37 to 7-18. We definitely got the better of them in this game. And the puck wasn't falling for us. And that's hockey, man. It's a game of complete luck sometimes. And so they played better than us in this game. No question. I thought we got the edge of them, but they got the win. They got more goals obviously than us. So they tie the series in Game 2. Game 3 will bother me for a very, very long time. I mean, I even looking at this now, it just angers me because I take full responsibility for this game, losing this game, because I'm in here, right? I mean, we had 21 shots to 15. Power play was not going at all in this series. Again, had more time on attack, more shots, and their freaking goal is some EA fucking nonsense, and that's the only one that goes in. I mean, Ace played great. Stupid-ass goal. EA makes the guy, our center, Killabeats, pass it backwards when he's got a teammate standing 2 feet from him, but he passed it backwards, and they get a breakaway the other way. And, I know I'm sad. Edmonton guys are probably you're fucking whining, and I am. You're right, and you can laugh at me all you want. But, this was such... And I said this in a bunch of other chats in Discord. This Game 3, I was so pissed. Wednesday night after that Game 3. Oh, my God. And I told Roycroft after the game, I was like, well, we were saying beforehand, this game is going to decide the series, right? And I was like, oh, fuck, man. This sucks. It stunk so bad. But then, so you gotta move on. So then we go to Thursday, all right? So now I'm not playing. I'm at the Flyers again in real life, so I'm checking the phone. I'm checking the Twitch streams every little bit just to check on the scores. So we come back, we win game 4. Now the series is tied 2-2. And then this game, Edmonton probably outplayed us a little bit here. They had more shots, a little bit more time on attack. So they definitely their new line. They come out here, Cooper, Diamond Supply. These guys are good players, man. No joke. This line is solid. All these guys are really good players. Melodino in net, these guys, they're very good. But our line too, I had full confidence in this line. They got the job done in this game. So this is kind of like game 2, but in reverse. So those two games kind of wash, right? So we probably won a game, might not have deserved, but we got it done. So now the series is tied 2-2. And then we just turn it on in this game. Pure domination. 27 shots to 12. Shutout for Ace. More time on attack. All that stuff. Cracky's got 5 points. Page has 3 points. I was like, oh, all right. So now we're up 3-2. Now, remember, if we go back, if we had won game fucking 3, the series would be over. Seattle would be in the Western Conference Final. But that did not happen. Game 6, Edmonton comes back. Real tight game. Only 29 combined shots, 15-14 for Edmonton. This is a very even game. Even time on attack, even shots. And just wasn't falling for us this game. They beat us 5-2. So now we have to play on Friday night, Game 7. And we got dominated this game. So I watched this whole thing unfold, and it's tough to watch because I take the blame because of Game 3 and not having any offense and all that shit, and man, it's brutal. But in the first 70% of the game, I think we were getting outshot 17-4. It was not even close. And then all of a sudden, shots started falling for us, and we're like, oh, shit, all right. We were winning. We were winning this game in the third period, and we just couldn't hold on. And, Cooper, this guy is unfucking real. This dude had 5 points, 3 goals. This guy just absolutely lit us up in the third period. Just top corner snipe after top corner snipe. Dude was unreal. And they make it 5-4. We're pressing late. They get a breakaway. They score 6-4. All right. And that's it. That's the season for us. Hats off to Edmonton. They're a good team, and I don't really know what else to say. Yeah, that's all I really got. I know I'm saying a lot, but it's just tough, man. I know we'll be back, I'm sure. First full season as an expansion team. All that stuff. Edmonton, they got these guys been around for a couple seasons now, and these guys, they're good, man. So LA will be taking on Edmonton, not the Seattle Kraken. So with all that out of the way, I know I just yapped a lot about my series, but it's the one I know the best. These other series weren't as good as mine. Hate to say it. So now we turn the page to the conference finals. All right, so we're going to start in the East. And we'll start with Boston versus Philly. All right, so Boston and Philly, they played one night, 2 games this season. Boston won both. Philly lost both. First in the Atlantic for Boston, the best record in the East. Philly finished 3rd in the Metro. But, man, they got some playoff magic over there. Again, Boston beat Toronto in 6, and they beat Buffalo in 5. Philly beat Tampa Bay in 5 and Washington in 5. All right. We've talked about Boston's special teams in the previous videos. They have top 3 units in both power play and penalty kill. They have the best penalty kill in the NHL. Philly with a top 6 power play. Their power play is 31.6%, which is 6th. These are regular season numbers. But their penalty kill is not great, 59.4%. I have not been tracking in the playoffs, but hopefully that has improved for them. The rest of these stats are playoff stats, though. So Boston is scoring at a 3.55 goals for per game and a 2.09 goals against. Philly's at a 4 flat goals for per game and a 3.3 goals against per game. So Boston's sitting at a plus 16, and Philly's at a plus 7 goal differential. Now for the leading scorers, we have Rhyme 86 with 13 goals and 16 points. This is probably 5 or 6 games played, I'd imagine. Danny ZJ, he's their top defenseman in Boston right now with an 80.33 defensive rating. And, of course, Sway in the net. We'll see a lot of him. 816 save percentage and a 209 goals against. For the Flyers, we have Silky. He's got 12 points, 10 assists, and 22 points. Again, probably in 5 or 6 games, I'd imagine. Winksta is their top defenseman with a 78.75 defensive rating. And Simmer 60 having a good playoff run so far, an 806 save percentage and a 2.80 goals against. All right, so we'll take a look at their playoff player leaders here. We'll go playoffs. Go full skating stats. We'll look at Boston first. So we'll go to the Bruins. We'll sort it by points. All right, so we talked about Rhyme 86. You have Timmy down here, 14 points in 6 games. Pels with 13, Muggy with 13, Delusions with 12, Archie with 8. So these guys really putting up some good numbers here, and only in limited games played. You see guys up here. These Muggy's probably, and I know he plays a little bit of defense as well. So his totals might be even higher if he was strictly on forward like Timmy and Rhyme. But you're seeing guys with over 3 points a game. I don't know the math off the top of my head. It's just over 2 points a game. So these guys are playing well. Good depth on this team as well. You got Crazy Flame on the back end, Dean on the back end, Leaky, Danny. They're all on the blue line back there. They're putting up solid contributions as well. So the name of the game for Boston is big hits. You see Timmy with 87, and the depth. The depth is very good. You're going to get 2 good lines when you play these guys. So hats off to Timmy for building this great team, and these guys are really playing well. We go over to Philadelphia. Paul's got these guys going too. Like I said, Silky in 6 games has 22 points. Morpheus has 14 points. Punisher's got 14. Paul with 10. Cud with 8. James Young with 7. He had that 4-point night in one of those games. Same with No Blood. He had a big night to get those totals up. 6 points there. Bowler Fett with 5. Winkstead with 5. So you see some of the defensemen back here as well. So it's very weird. I keep picking against Philly and they keep winning. Like I told Punisher, I was talking to him, and I told him I have no idea who I'm gonna pick. Now I still don't really know, but what I want to do is I want to keep I like the Philly using me as like their rallying cry is kind of endearing. So I'm picking Boston, and I don't know if they're better. I honestly don't know. On paper, they look better, and my mind and heart are telling me Boston. But my gut is like, open your fucking eyes, man, because as soon as I pick Philly, they're gonna fucking lose. So I don't really know who to pick. I love like the Philly like clipping my videos. That shit makes me laugh. I know Paul, as soon as this goes up on YouTube, I'll be tagged in Discord, be like, oh, Boston in 6, which is my pick is Boston in 6. I think Philly can win a game or 2, but I don't know, man. I have no idea. These Flyers, man. There's something else. You can't see, but I'm smiling because like it's just funny to me. These guys, man. Both these teams are solid, but they're solid in different ways. Like Boston is so hard to play against because they'll just run you out of the building. But then Philly will just surprise attack you. Like it's so interesting to me how these teams play. But I think Boston's style of play is more sustainable to get them to the Cup final. So I think they're going to win. However, I know that's going to get clipped, whatever. But I do. I want Philly to know this. I would not be surprised at all if I see you win in 6 or 7. I thought Washington was going to blow you out of the building, and the opposite happened. So I have no idea who. I am surely no expert in this, but I do think Boston takes it in 6. All right. So there's my Eastern Conference Final prediction. So now we move on to the West. Unfortunately, without Seattle, it is LA and Edmonton. All right. So these, I was trying to think of what I did first, and we'll stick with this, the tail of the tape. So LA, Edmonton, they only played each other twice. LA won both, not surprisingly. Again, they only lost 3 games this year, so not a knock on Edmonton. So LA finished first in the Central, obviously. Edmonton finished first in the Northwest. LA beat the Ducks in 4. They beat Chicago in 5. Edmonton has had back-to-back 7-game series against Vancouver and Seattle. They've escaped both of them, so they escaped the Northwest Gauntlet. Let's see if they can keep it going. Who knows? LA's got some solid special teams. It's not surprising of how good they are. Top 10 in both. Edmonton with a top 10 power play, but just outside the top 10 in the penalty kill. They're at 12th at 69.9%. Those, again, are regular season numbers. Now we look at the playoff numbers down here. So goals for per game, goals against per game, everything else below this, these are all playoff stats. So LA scoring at a 4.57 goals for per game, only giving up 1.71. Now, the games, I think, include the forfeit wins, so it might be, I'm not sure how I did this, but it was I did this on Saturday. I don't remember. But keep in mind, they didn't really have much opportunity to score because they forfeited a couple games, so these numbers might not even be that accurate. But regardless, they are at a plus 20 goal differential. Prestera is at a 13 points. Baslin, their top defenseman, with 76.67 defensive rating, and Dark Times in net for LA, an .867 save percentage, and a 1.5 goals against. Now for Edmonton, they are at an even goal differential. They've scored and given up 3.43 goals per game. Their leading scorer, Cooper 9. This dude is unfucking real. He's got a bunch of games. He probably leads the playoffs in games played because of the stuff that was going on with them in Vancouver. But he's got 30 points. So if Edmonton can somehow get by LA, Cooper could be in the running for a Conn Smythe trophy. I mean, I saw firsthand against Seattle. I mean, this dude is unreal. Edmonton's lucky to have him. On defense, Washko, 86. Former King, I believe, 79.29 defensive rating. And Royal Rum in net, 846 save percentage, and a 3.22 goals against per game. Now, for those who are new, these two teams are very familiar with each other in the playoffs. They played last season in the playoffs. That series went 7 games, I believe. And LA won, and they went to the Cup final to play Detroit, and they lost to Detroit. So if Edmonton had won that, who knows where I'm thinking they went on to play Detroit in the Western Conference Final. I forgot Detroit was in the West last year. So these guys were second-round opponents a year ago. I believe second round. And it went 7 games. LA won, but again, Edmonton is the fucking king of 7-game series, so who the hell knows? But anyway, we'll go to the website to take a look at the player stats. So we'll start with LA. Again, some forfeit. The games played are not that high because of the forfeit shit. So Presti with fucking 13, Drysdale with 12, Precut Club with 12, Baslin with 11, 10 assists on the blue line is very good. Shilov DJ with 11, Hockey Time 7, Koldov 5, Dorito 5, and only 1 game. Good God. And some of these guys down here, Foams, Mr. Torts, Tag. I know these bottom 2 guys are defensemen. Tag, I don't know what position he is, but he's probably a winger because he has 4 goals. So, I mean, LA, we all know them. We know what we're getting with these guys. These guys are high-powered, high-octane offense. It's tough to stop. But if any team can, it is definitely the Oilers. These guys are, again, tough to play against. So we'll go points. Again, Cooper with 30 points in 9 games. Unreal. Diamond Supply, 19 points. Kevin Jamos, 16 points. Tupperware, 11 points, 10 assists. Roy Cross, Last McJesus, 11 points in 4 games. Washko's got 9. Black Sheep's got 8. Run Like Hell's got 7. She did not play against Seattle, I don't think. So she's another weapon they have. Heartless with 6. Mr. Pie Guy with 4. Lane and Death Shark down here on the blue line. They are a defense pair. So, yeah. Those are the Oilers. Now, who do I think is going to win? Now, this is no disrespect to Edmonton. They beat my team, so I can't even talk. But I do think LA beats them. Again, LA's just a juggernaut, and I think everyone kind of figured they'd be going to the final, regardless of who they were playing. I think Edmonton, honestly, they might be able to steal a game or two. Like, I'll say, like, LA in 5. But they can make some noise. Their guys are good enough where they can kind of, in a series, right? You're playing the same guys over and over and over. Like, you can, I think Edmonton can kind of make some noise in there. So, I'm sorry, Oilers. This is not a butthurt opinion or prediction. I do genuinely, and I think I would have said the same thing for Seattle. So, that's my picks. I think Boston and LA is my predicted final for Season 6. All right. So, with all that, let's take a breath. All right. So, with all that, we're going to switch gears now to the AHL. All right. So, let me pull up the AHL bracket first and foremost. There we go. Oops, it's not. Let me just hide this. There we go. So, for the AHL bracket, in the Eastern Conference Finals, we have the Grand Rapids Griffins taking on the Hartford Wolfpack. And in the West, you have the Henderson Silver Knights taking on the surprise Tucson Roadrunners. All right. So, with all that kind of in mind, we'll go back to the website. We'll first take a look at what happened in the AHL. So, again, I'll put the bracket back up real quick. So, in the East, you have Grand Rapids just sweeping the Americans in Rochester. Some controversy here in Hartford, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, but Hartford won in 7. In the West, Henderson beating up on Rockford, and Tucson beating up on the Eagles. All right, so that's kind of the recap there. I apologize to the AHL guys, but I'm just running out of gas here. I'll briefly take a look at the series on the site, but I'm mainly going to focus on the recap stuff or the preview stuff. Again, I apologize. I have a lot of stuff just going on. I'm tired, and anyway, don't want to. No, it's not a fucking sob story. Anyway, so really quick, we'll start with the Grand Rapids and Rochester. Now, earlier in the playoffs, I thought Rochester would make a deep run, and man, they got like curb stomped against the Grand Rapids. I don't know, curb stomp might be a little too harsh, but I mean 7-1 loss, 5-4, 4-2, 4-2. So the last 3 were close, but the first one, oof, blowout. Let's take a look. Yeah, Medea was 6. Gergensons with 7. My God. Triton with 3. Kafide with 2. Jiffy Jeff and Net. Yeah, these guys are good little line down there in Grand Rapids. But, yeah, they just kind of took it to the Rochester Americans. And, like I said, I thought Rochester was pretty damn good. And they are. But Grand Rapids, they really had their number. So, that's there's not much else to say about that. Griffins really dominated, and they're moving on. And imagine if Grand Rapids does not get to round 2. Now, I was told they came back in the series, and they also came back in Game 7. If I remember correctly, one of their players told me they were down 4-0 or 3-0 in Game 7. They came back to win Game 7, which is absurd against Providence. But anyway, Grand Rapids, man, sneaky good team down there. I would know. I used to play a lot of those guys, man. Good team. So congrats to them. Moving on to the other East series, that was Hartford versus Wilkes-Barre. Again, for those who might not have saw the last video, there's a bit of shenanigans going. I don't know if I don't want to. I'm not trying to accuse anybody of anything, but there's some questionable things going on over there in Wilkes-Barre. I mean, they got that one line, that like the LG line that's just running it up. I think it's probably these guys right here. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. Thanks, goalie. Yeah. These guys. These motherfuckers. I mean, not motherfuckers, but like, good God, man. 8 points, 7 points, 2 points. Like, come on, dude. Like, what are we doing? But despite that, Hartford did win. So congrats to them. That's not easy. Because I saw this last year with I called them the RA Comets. When they went on to win the Calder Cup. I mean, it's just a bunch of RAs, and they're all NHLers, I think. That top line of Orbit Duck, Delusions, and I forget the other guy. Orbit Duck was the one guy. He's on Utah. Delusions. He's on Boston, and there's somebody else I forget. I'm blanking on the name, but those guys, man, they ran through every team. So, again, congrats to the Penguins. Not the Penguins. Sorry to the Penguins. Congrats to the Wolfpack. They're taking on Grand Rapids. Now, in the West, a couple of quick series. Henderson might be the team to beat now that I've kind of watched them play in these playoffs. They can score some goals, man. 8-2, 6-4, 7-6 win. Then they lose that one, but then they win game 5, 7-2. So these guys, man, they can fucking score. So watch out. So Tucson's going to have their hands full of these guys. Definitely a high-powered offense in Henderson. But for Tucson, it's kind of an interesting matchup here because you see a couple games, 1 goal against, a shutout here. And then you have some higher scoring. So can the Tucson defense hold off the Henderson offense? That'll be the question. And I'll get to that a little bit later on. So that's the kind of the recap there. Colorado, the Eagles go home to Tucson in 5. Close games, man. And then they kind of fell off the rails the following night. They lose each of these by a goal. Tough for sure, especially game 1. I've been there. Trust me, 1-0 loss is fucking horrible. But you live and you learn. So we move on now to the conference finals. So we'll take a look first at our friends in the AHL East. If I can find them. Because they are right here. Okay, here we go. So, first of all, this is not correct. Let me change this. It says Season 3. Sorry about that. So, in this season, they played Hartford and Grand Rapids played each other twice. Hartford won both in overtime, so close games. The Wolfpack have middle of the road to not great special teams, 9th and 14th on the power play and the penalty kill. And Grand Rapids is brutal on the special teams, 16th and 17th on the power play and penalty kill there. Hartford defeated Hershey in 5 and Wilkes-Barre and Scranton in 7. And the Griffins, they've defeated Providence in 7, and they swept Rochester in 4. So far, so good for these teams. For Hartford, they scored 4.88 goals for per game and a 3.63 goals against. They're at a plus 10 goal differential. And for the Griffins, they're at a 4.55 goals for per game and a 3.55 goals against, so they're at plus 11. So good numbers here for both sides and their goal scoring and their goal prevention. The leading scorer for Hartford is Gregor. He's got 10 goals, 10 assists for 20 points. Nicky Pinch is the Wolfpack's top defenseman, 72 defensive rating, and Metro in net for the Wolfpack, an 820 save percentage and a 375 goals against. So solid numbers for the Wolfpack. But on the other side, for the Griffins, the Gergensons is at 27 points, 17 goals, 10 assists. Triton is at a top defenseman for them, 77.86 defensive rating. That's their owner also. And Jiffy Jeff in net for the Griffins, an 808 save percentage and a 355 goals against. So we'll take a look now at their player stats for the playoffs. So starting, see these real quick. These fucking guys, man, get the fuck out of here. 44 points in 7 games. Yeah, okay there, pal. Anyway, don't have to worry about them. So we'll start with the Wolfpack. So, Grigor had 23 points. Oh, that I did not update that. Sorry about that. Antibiotics with 20, K Parks with 19, Hay to Brady 17, Bedsy with 15. So solid production up the top here. Chippewa Pride, I think he might be defense, maybe. I'm gonna check. Oh, this is NHL. Yeah, defense a little bit. Yeah, I'll just say he played defense. And then the rest of the guys down here, some depth for the Wolfpack as well. And there's Nicky Pinch as well. So some solid stuff here. I like the top of the line of production. These top 3 guys up here. Then you have Bedsy, Brady, and Chippewa down here as well. Gamer Will, Nicky Pinch, King Nutty. So good production up and down the lineup. And we'll go to the Griffins. You have, like I said, Gergensons with 27, Medea with 26, got 18 assists in 7 games. Triton with 18 points, Kafai with 18. So some good, solid, consistent scoring. You have 6 guys with over 10 points, which is nice to see. My boy Slaughter over there with 10 points in 4 games. So, and then you have some of the defensemen down here as well. So, good stuff. You got Spur, defenseman, 4 points. Corrowan might be probably defenseman, 4 points. So, yeah, it's this will be a fun series. I think Grand Rapids is going to win it. I think they probably win it in 6. I like their depth. I know Hartford's got some depth as well, but Grand Rapids, man, they the way their wins against Rochester are impressive to me, and I think if you can beat a team like that in four straight times, I mean, you're a team to be reckoned with. So I think, and this is not a knock to Hartford, but I think Grand Rapids really gets it done, and I think they do it in 6. All right, so the final series of the night, an unlikely story here. It is Henderson, who was likely, but unlikely was Tucson, in my opinion. Tucson, I did have them winning in round 1, and now they're kind of my Cinderella here. So in this season, Henderson won both the matchups. Henderson was first in the Central. Tucson was third in the Northwest. Henderson beat Coachella Valley in 5. They beat Rockford in 5. Tucson swept Abbotsford in 4, and they defeated Colorado in 6 or 5. Hang on, let's check the bracket. I might have mistyped. No, it was in 6. Okay, I was correct. I don't know why I doubt myself. For Henderson, top 10 special team units, both power play and penalty kill, was 4th and 8th. And for Tucson, not great special teams. They're 12th in power play, which is fine, but 64.9% penalty kill, which is 19th. So not great. I mean, and here we go. So I was saying earlier, Henderson can really fill the net. They have 5.3 goals for per game. So they're getting over 5 goals a game, which is absurd. Only giving up 3.1. So they're at a plus 22 goal differential there. And they had some forfeits against Coachella Valley, too. So these numbers could be even better. For Tucson, somehow they're getting by. They have 4.17 goals for per game, and they're giving up 4.39. So they have a minus 12 goal differential. So they are winning close games, and then they're getting blown out. So look at the player stats here. You have Jelly leading the way for Henderson, 25 points. Dancing Tank, top defenseman with 76.67 defensive rating. And Rose Pedal Killer with 794 save percentage and a 3.50 goals against. For Tucson, you have 1 for Rose, 5 goals, 11 assists for 16 points. Blind Guy McSqueezy, the top defenseman, 85.5 defensive rating, and Honest Abe, an 889 save percentage and a 225 goals against. So we'll check out their player stats. We'll start with the Silver Knights because I'm sure there's lots of points to be had in this one. Yes, Jelly with 25, like we said. Temp with 16 in 3 games. Okay. Jolly Fog. So you have Jelly and Jolly. 11 points in 3 games there. Zach Shiro, 7 points. Skippy was 7. Swartzy was 7. Dancing Tank, 6. Blind Suspect with 5. Quattro with 5. So lots of contributions. Not many games played because they're just blowing out their competition and a couple forfeits. So I think with a couple more games played against, especially against like Coachella Valley, you probably see some even more increased numbers there. And finally, we'll take a look at Tucson, the Roadrunners. In these playoffs, again, 1 for Rose, 16 points, Shelf 95 with 12, Mr. Grimley with 11, XL with 10, Game Killers with 9, Smarty with 8, LB Warrior with 5, and you have kind of drops off down here, some defensemen like that. So who do I think is going to win this series? Now, unfortunately for Tucson, I think their Cinderella run comes to an end. I think Henderson probably wins this in 4 or 5. When I look at this on paper, really the only way that Tucson can win is if they can somehow contain the Henderson offense, and I just don't really see that happening. So, unfortunately for the Roadrunners, I do have the Silver Knights advancing to the Cup final, and I think they're going to play the Griffins. So that's all I got, everybody. Again, thanks for sticking with me. I apologize for the lack of videos, especially with the AHL, and probably the quality of the videos. I'm sure I probably flew through this just about 40 minutes. Just very busy with work and other stuff kind of going on. again in my own personal life. So I apologize. I didn't. Hopefully, you guys are still enjoying. I will probably not be back until next weekend, where we can look at all the games again, and everything from here on out will probably be in one video, because at that point there will only be 2 series to talk about with the Cup Finals in each, and we'll definitely want to take a deep dive into those, as well as take a look at what happened in the Conference Finals too. But it'll all be in one video now, so it's more manageable now. I can just do it in one shot and upload it and do whatever I got to do. So, again, thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope everyone that's playing this week, good luck. And yeah, that's all I really got. So again, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. I'm glad you guys enjoy. I do enjoy getting the tags in Discord saying, good work. So I'm glad you guys enjoy. So it does make me happy. So yeah, that's all I got. So again, have a great, I'm uploading this at night, but it might be morning. So have a great day. Good luck in the series, and I will talk to you in a few days.